Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Anya Aleman. I'm the Innovation Director at Ascender. We are really happy to have you today. I just want to take a couple of minutes before our talk to talk a little bit about Ascender. We are Pittsburgh's community for entrepreneurs. We offer educational programs, mentorship, expert coaching, co-working space, an incubation program, and more. Many of these programs you can see in our website. So if you haven't already checked us out, I highly encourage you to go. And if you haven't signed up for a newsletter, we provide a lot of resources for entrepreneurs and small business owners twice a month. So please do that. And this is the one way that you can hear about news and updates in regards to Ascender events. Today's event is part of our Ascender's educational monthly series. We invite experts to come in to present or run workshops around a particular topic. Today, we'll be discussing value proposition. As you all may know, value proposition is really, what is your unique identifier? What really makes you stand out in front of competitors? And Gordon today will be covering a little bit more about how you do that and what are some good tools and things to keep in mind when it comes to understanding your value proposition. Before we get to the program section, I just want to take a moment to provide one announcement. If you are looking or are interested or know someone that might be interested in an incubation program, we will be accepting. We will be recruiting for our upcoming 2021-2022 incubation class. Our applications will open next Monday, February 8th. More information in the website for you to browse and to share and to consider. And we will be sending more updates in our newsletter as well. So make sure that you sign up for it, and then just keep an eye out for application opening next week. So I want to say thank you very much to our speaker today, who is joining us and will be providing specific insights around how to think about your value proposition. Our speaker today is Gordon Manker, Business Development Specialist at the Wilkinsburg Community Development Corporation. Gordon has nearly 10 years of experience working with small business owners. He has worked with entrepreneurs in the capacity of business development specialist and also micro business specialist for two nonprofit organizations. He has extensive experience working with entrepreneurs with small business owners, and today he's joining us to tell us a little bit more about value proposition. So Gordon, why don't you maybe take a couple of minutes to tell us a little bit more about your work and your background, and then we can get started.
Absolutely, and thank you, Anya, and also thank you, Nadili, for inviting me here today, and also thank you for all of you coming in and sharing this little bit of information. But I want to say first is, I have to apologize. He said we were inviting experts here. I am not an expert in this field. I happen to know a little bit about it, and I'm going to share with you what I know, right? I tell everybody whenever I start these workshops is this, a lot of times we come into business and we don't understand the business of being in business. And so I'm just going to share with you some of the mistakes that I made so you don't have to make them. So those of you who have your cameras on, thank you for that. Samantha, Justin, and I'm hoping I'm saying this, Drawer, got it. And now Megan, because I like to interact and I don't want to call on anyone and then you're not there and then it makes me look bad because I didn't know who was there. So I just want to say if you can turn on your camera, that would be great. If not, that's okay too. Again, my name is Gordon Manker. I work with the Wilkinsburg Community Development Corporation. I also work part-time with Pitt's Small Business Development Center. And through Pitt Small Business Development Center, man, there is a ton of resources over there that you are entitled to. These are services that are paid for by your tax dollars, and they are free. And so over there, they have management consultants, which I happen to be one, which can help you walk through your business from startup to the time you're ready to close. Some of the clients that we have over there have been over there for 20 years. Because the reality of it is when you move from section to section in your business, from idea to startup to kind of growth, kind of stabilizing, all those different places take different skills. And it's good to have someone who can walk with you throughout that product process. And we have a lot of consultants over there that specialize in different things that are there waiting to help you. And again, it's free. And again, so I've been working with businesses over the past 10 years. Again, just sharing what I know. I know the first time I started my business, it was crazy. Like I had no clue. I thought in my mind, you open the doors, 6 months later, you're a millionaire. Now, I don't know if you all thought that, but that's what I thought, right? I had no kind of scope of what really goes into running a business. But I found out over many years that one of the keys that most small businesses miss is marketing. And so I am very serious when it comes to marketing and sharing. And hopefully I'll do a well enough job because there were so many things that was going through my mind that I wanted to share. I didn't know where to start and where to end. Then Anya sent something and it kind of narrowed it down a little bit. So hopefully we'll get to walk through many of these things today. So as we go through this program, if you have any questions, just drop them into the chat box. Anya and Ben will be there to kind of field those questions. So if there's anything real pertinent, we can answer it at that time. If it's something that's kind of general, then maybe we'll wait to answer it until the end. So I'll be in front of you for about 20 to 25 minutes. Again, what we're going to go over now, and the key part that I've kind of pulled out of value proposition is the elevator pitch, and also the what we have is the it's skipping me right now, but we'll get to it. So as we go along, you'll see everything that I'm going to share with you. So we'll go ahead and get started. So again, my name is Gordon Manker, management consultant with University of Pittsburgh Small Business Development Center. Again, ton of resources over there to help you out in anything you want to do. The other thing I was talking about was the capability statement. We might not get to that today, but I would like to just preface all this is that when you think about your value proposition or even your elevator pitch, that's not something we're going to be able to master today. So I'm just going to give you a couple of things to kind of open your mind to a way of thinking about what you need to do. And understand that I don't care what business you're in, whether it's a nonprofit, whether you're in the tech industry, um, whether you're in a restaurant business, you know, what I tell people is really the essence of your business doesn't have anything to do with what you make. Business comes down to marketing and sales. And a lot of small businesses get stuck and don't understand that piece. So they don't put much time into their marketing and sales piece, right? And we all know from Shark Tank, you got to pitch like a pro, right? You have to have this what you're going to talk about down to a science, right? When you walk in there with them, they're asking you not a lot of questions, and it's not rapid fire. They want to know a couple things. What do you do? What's the profit margin? And how much are we going to make? Right? That's all they want to know. At the end of the day, it comes down to the numbers. But they have 2 minutes to help them understand what it is they do. So I wanted you to think about this. Can you explain your business to me like I was a fifth grader in under 1 minute? Can you explain your business to me like I'm a fifth grader in under 1 minute? Now, usually when I go through these workshops, I give everyone an opportunity to do that. And maybe we'll do that at the end. But I want you to think about that because really that's what you have. You have to be so concise in your thought process in your business that you're able to deliver your message in a very short period of time. So just a little background before we get into that, right? All this is about market research. You have to understand your customer, right? That avatar, that exact person who's going to be best for your business. And there's ways to do that. But I want to bring just something to you, right? Coca-Cola and their commitment to advertising, right? Most of us, again, we're in business and we know our widget, we know our product or service, but we don't know how to share it with people. Coca-Cola, and I'm kind of dating myself, the so-called Coca-Cola wars can spur an advertising arms race of sorts. Remember the Pepsi challenge. Maybe some of you don't, but it was real big back in the 70s. Coke's rival launched a campaign in 1975 asking people to undergo a blind taste test between Pepsi and Coke to choose the one they preferred. It was a great gimmick, one that helped put Pepsi on the map. It's just one example of how large brands in the beverage industry try to outspend each other in an attempt to solidify and gain market share, which is what we're trying to do. Coca-Cola made a yearly commitment to large ad spends. Its commitment to advertising has been fairly consistent between 2015 and 2019, spending an average of $4 billion each year to market its drinks to consumers around the world. Let me read that again. An average of $4 billion each year to market its drinks. The company spent roughly $4.25 billion on global advertising in 2019 fiscal year, a big chunk of which was market Coke. They spent the bulk of that money to market one product. So my question to you is, how much money are you putting aside for your marketing and advertising? And if not money, how much time are you spending just thinking about how to market your product or service? And if you're not, then now is the time to start thinking about that, because that's the only way you're going to be able to gain market share. And so I want you to think about this, right? They talked about the Pepsi and Cola wars. Like, toothpaste have the toothpaste wars. Like, we don't think about it, but toothpaste is a competitive business, right? If you look at what is on here, so they understand and they've done market research to understand the concern is sensory and flavor. You know, then the demographic for that is children. They've done research to understand children like the spearmint better than peppermint. The typical brand is Colgate, and it's a personal gratification, right? You're thinking about whitening. You're thinking about, okay, young adults, athletic, energetic. They use ultra bright or plus white. These are pretty old, and they're active and sociable. Warriors and DK, families, heavy users. Crest is usually one. These people are more conservative. Independent men, right? Heavy users. We don't care nothing about brand. The store brand or whatever is good for us. Value based, right? So think about that. When you go to the store, you look in the toothpaste aisle, there is an actual war going on there to be in certain places. You have to get your business and understand your business to the point where you understand your competition and where your niche is, right? And I always talk about men, like the ones that we get are on the bottom shelf because we could care less. Like, as long as we can brush our teeth and our breath smell halfway good, we are good. We don't care about all the glitz or nothing else or flavor. We just want to get our teeth clean and hopefully have a good flavor. So, but think about this. But even with that said, who do we market to in the toothpaste wars? Right? Do we market to the kids? Do we market to the men? Do we market to the young adults? Yeah, pretty much, you know, when the commercial comes on, because we got to be able to say what we want, but the actual one that's buying it is going to be 9 times out of 10 the woman of the household. So at the end of the day, we have to understand where our market is. Even though we're sending all this other stuff out, it's usually the woman that buys the stuff. And so we have to understand that, right? So here's where we start to identify our customer. Listen, Coke spends $4 billion a year to begin to understand their customer. So again, the question to you is, do you understand your customer? Do you understand the age range for your customer, right? The gender, the education, location, occupation. So if you don't mind, I can't see everybody. I can only see Drawer and Justin. So Drawer, if you could open up your mic, can you explain to me, like I'm a fifth grader, in under a minute, what your business is?
I'll try. um, we help business founders run their business and operate it according to what they believe in, according to what's important. Um, so we work with them to identify what is it that they really care about, and then we think about a way to for the company to live out to actually do those things.
Okay. So what I would say is, and this is not picking on you, I didn't get it like I was a fifth grader, right? Because I still don't understand exactly what does your company do. Are you in marketing? Are you in like, I heard that what you do is the, no, I'm not. I'm not even gonna try it. Say that again.
Okay. Um, okay, we provide classes and experiences for uh, business founders.
Got it.
Uh,
You provide experiences for business founders, right? And what type of experiences?
am I on? Yeah.
Yes.
Workshops, one-on-one conversations, um, consulting.
Okay. So are you in a training and education field?
Somewhere in between training and education, consulting, and maybe a little branding.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Right. That would probably be about an eighth grade level, not a fifth grade, but we working there. It's all good, right? It's all
Yeah.
good. And I know I put you on the spot, so thank you for even, jumping in there and filling in. So
You're
again,
welcome.
like when we're looking at where we're going with our business, right? We have to be very clear on who it is we need to talk to. And I'm sure if I would have asked Drawer a little bit more, he probably would have said, when looking at demographics, depending on in he looks around my age, 35, 40, um, that those are the kind of people he's looking for, right? Probably 35, 40. We're looking at gender, and first I want to preface also something too. Your market is your market. Like there is no political correct in this thing. If your market are white men who are 65 years old, then that's your market. If your market are Black women who are 25 to 35, then that's your market. We don't try to kind of qualify who your market is, right? We can't, because once you get into that niche, everyone is going to have a different way of looking at it. And so I'm sure if we'd have kept on asking, we could have went down even further, but you got to understand, because when you think about marketing, you only have a certain budget, right? You cannot market to everybody. There's a different way that you talk to a person who's 25 than someone who is 45 to someone who is 55, don't have kids and ready to retire. There's different conversations. And so just like the toothpaste, there's all these conversations that we have to have. Everybody got to brush their teeth, but not everyone is going to like spearmint. Not everyone is going to like a certain way it looks, a certain way it feels. We have to be very specific in who we talk to. So again, this is where that market research comes in. And this takes time. Like you're not going to do this overnight. It doesn't happen that way. We can start, we can put something together, we can say, okay, here's what we think it is, but it's over time that this starts to come together. So sometimes you just got to, do the shotgun approach, put it out there to everyone and see who it comes into, right? But then you start to narrow it down, and say, okay, I'm after the person who is between 30 and 40, male or female, education, maybe a bachelor's degree, maybe a master's degree, living in Fox Chapel, Shady Side, that works, occupation is maybe middle management, right? Because we have to think that serious about, because those people, they hang out in certain places, right? I want to know down to what they drink for lunch. Be very specific, right? What type of lifestyles, what type of hobby? You need all of these things to begin to understand who your customer is and what they have in common, right? Because then you can then start to develop your marketing profile around that, right? So that's one. So I'm gonna bring up another example, right? We don't think about how competitive these different things are. Like there is actually a potato chip war. I like to say wars, right? Because there's a war in the training and in the education sector, right? There's a war in marbles. Like there's like if you get into the marble circle, these people are very serious about their marbles, right? So anything that's out there, there is war. So you have to understand the competition and everything. So think about this: potato chips, tortilla chips, pretzels, crackers, whatever. The ones who own these have done so much work to understand what is what. So think about this. They've done so much to say potato chips, right? And you think about which one is yours, and you're going to probably start laughing because it's probably going to be you. Potato chips, right? These people are prince or princesses, important, successful, ambitious achievers, good dressers, flirtatious, crave novelties, bored by the day-to-day things, often finish what they start, emotion-oriented, pretzels, trend conscious, seeks novelty, lively, enthusiastic, fun to be with, cheese curls, moralist, principled, takes the high road, moral ground. Like, think of how much thought and effort and research went into understand exactly what these people think, where they hang out, what they do, so that they can market to them, right? That's how much you have to know, so that when you begin to build out your value proposition, your unique selling position, your elevator pitch, you understand all of these, right? And again, this is over time. So I'm just painting you a picture so that you can start to think, I need to start doing more of my marketing. Because at the end of the day, that's where it comes down to knowing how to talk to your customer. So product and services, right? The first thing we want to think about is the features and benefits of what we have. So features are what the product and service is, benefit of what it does. How does it make me feel? So let's think about this, right? We think about a truck. And again, I'm not going to go through all these. Usually this is a back and forth with features and benefits. But as you think about this, you think about some of the features, right? You got a bed, probably a nice, tough engine, be able to pull you through the snow, pull you, haul more stuff. If you have an extended bed, you can put more in it, which now saves you time, you can haul more at one time. The benefits, right? If it's a longer bed, I can haul more, which can make me more money in a less period of time, right? If it's a stronger engine, now it can pull more, it can carry more, right? So when we think of a truck, there's all these different things that we can think about it, right? A truck box hauling, right? Small engine, gas mileage. Big engine, more power. Four-wheel drive, can take off-road, won't get stuck. Snow plow, you can put a snow plow on it, earn more money. Big tires, traction, safety. Custom package, luxury. Now, what most people on here say, that when you think of a pickup truck, you think about work, right? You think about how much money I can make. But now think about this. When you think about this Cadillac Escalade pickup truck, do you think about taking it to work? Do you thinking about taking this to the construction job? Do you see this next to a Silverado, right? You don't never see this next to a Silverado or a Ford F-150, right? So think they had to even, and there's a lot of these out there, right? So they had to understand who was going to buy these, right? This is not even a pickup truck. Heck, they don't even allow the kids in the back in half of them. Like they don't want nothing scratching it or nothing. So is it really a pickup truck or a car, right? So they didn't buy this because of the features, because it had a nice bed. They bought it for the benefit, because it makes me look good. It makes me feel good, right? So I just wanted to show that, because we got to understand in our minds where we're going with our business and how we're going to share this with people. So develop an elevator pitch, right? Elevator pitch for your business is a carefully crafted pitch that delivers your unique value proposition, anticipates questions before they come up, and lets you start strong without tripping over ums and uhs, scrambling for an answer, right? It helps you grab attention with your introduction, identifies your target market and how you're serving it, embraces competition and any inevitable comparisons, and choose your call to action. Make it enthusiastic, professional, complete, and concise. 30 to 60 seconds may be all you've got to get your business strengths communicated. So the whole thing about an elevator pitch was, if I got on the elevator with a CEO and we were going to the 15th, 20th floor, it would take about 30 seconds to get there. Would it be enough time? And can I be as concise as possible to at least get a conversation? So I want you to begin to think about this elevator pitch as a conversation, right? It could be 30 to 60 seconds, but the whole thing about this is just to be able to share with someone what you do like they were a fifth grader. And at the end of it, you want a call to action, right? What are we going to do? And most people in people who are just getting started, they want to sell. I would say a call to action would be, what is our next step? Right? It's not necessarily a sale. Can we get together so that I can show you exactly what I do? And so I'm going to show you two different elevator pitches. This one, the first one, is more, again, for me, if I'm standing in some front of an audience trying to transfer to them exactly who I am and the benefit of what I do, right? So a template is, my name is Gordon Manker, founder of Premier Energy Services. We offer energy management to small to medium-sized businesses to be able to capture more wasted energy. Unlike the TEN network, the energy network, we are different is because of the way our different products, right? And we recently, whatever the milestone is in call to action, like I just made that up, right? But here's one, right? My name is Briven Kumar, a writer at Shopify. We offer a platform that enables both the early entrepreneur in the large enterprise to build and run their own businesses. Unlike most marketplace where you can sell your products, Shopify lets you build and brand your own online store with the tools to sell across a variety of channels, manage inventory, start small and scale fast. Today, over 325,000 entrepreneurs use Spotify to power their business. I've got a product. If you've got a product to sell, visit Shopify.com to start a free trial. That is good and is good. What I want you to think about today is the kind of elevator pitch where if you're networking, right, you can very easily let people know what you do and they decide whether they want to take a step further or not, right? So the one I show is a framework of I, action verb, target market, feature, so they can benefit. And I'll break that down to you. But that's why it's so important for you to really understand your features and night. This takes a while to get all this stuff together. So we won't hit all of this today. So here's one that I did, right? For a business consultant. And as I am, right? I consult with small businesses, usually between 1 and 15 employees, and help them understand the business of being in business so that they can work on their business, not just in their business, thereby increasing their operational efficiency and maximizing their profit. Right? So as you can see, I got the I, my action verb, right? I consult with small businesses, my target market, one to 15 employees, maybe 20. That don't mean I won't take something at 20, but my sweet spot is 1 to 15. Working by myself, I know I couldn't do a company that's got 100 employees. I wouldn't be able to give them the individual touch that I have, right? Feature, right? So I understand, help them understand the business of being in business, and so that they can work on their business, not just in their business, right? So pretty much like drawer, right? We want to get these businesses to help them grow, right? To help them get out of just the owner getting out of just working in their business, but working on their business. The way you do that is by setting up systems so that the system runs the business, and then the business will run itself, right? So that they can increase their operational efficiency and maximize their profit. Now, let me ask you all, as business people, if we were in a networking piece, right, would that be of interest to you? I consult with small business, usually between 1 and 15 employees, and help them to understand the business of being in business so that they can work on their business, not just in their business, thereby increasing their operational efficiency and maximizing their profit. So Justin, is that something that may be of interest to you? So if you just unmute yourself.
So yeah, thanks. So your pitch or your services?
So the pitch is the service, right? I consult with small business, you between 1 and 15 employees, and I help them understand the business of being in business so that they can work on their business, not just in their business, thereby increasing operational efficiency and maximizing their profit.
Yeah, sounds great.
Absolutely. And if you just said no, I'd have been like, great. Do you know anyone else who does?
Right.
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 Because I understand that, I'm not here trying to sell you on this today. I am just here to help you understand what I do. And I like this one because it's short, it's sweet, and it's very good in networking events.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I would say it sounds great. You got a business card.
And I would say I do. But let me get your business card. And
Yeah, sure.
glad you mentioned that, Justin. And this is for anyone who's on here. And I'll kind of close up with this. What is the reason? What is the reason for a business card? And you can answer, Justin. What's the reason
Yeah,
for a business card?
it's just really, it's just to keep yourself on someone's mind. You know, it's a nice follow-up.
Okay, that's good. Anyone else?
It reminds you that this happened.
Say again.
It reminds you that this happened. I mean, like you talk to many people and then you go back to your office and that's
Correct.
an easy.
So here is the real reason why you have a business card. The only reason you have a business card is to get someone else's business card. Like you giving me a business card means nothing. Usually what happens, and if you're in business, you've been in business a while, what usually happens with business cards? You collect at a networking event, you go home, you put them on your desk and say, I'll get to it tomorrow to input it. We don't really do that. So then a week goes by, maybe 6 months go by. Now we got like 100 business cards sitting on our desk. So we take those business cards, we take them and put them in the drawer because we got to get to them at some point to input them. So we put them in the drawer and they're sitting there for a little while. And then, you know, we get another 6 months worth, we put them in there. Now there's too much in the drawer. The drawer is all messy. So now we're at the point where, you know what? I'm not ever going to call any of these people. I don't even know if they remember me. So we take them out of the drawer and we put them in the garbage. I would say to you is the reason why you have a business card is to get someone else's. I don't even give out business cards that much, right? I want their information because I'm the business owner. It is my responsibility to follow up with them. They will never follow up with me. You have never followed up with most of the people that you got a business card from. The only way they're going to call me the next day if they need something right then. My job is to take it in, put it into the system, and make sure that I send a response to them. Hey, Justin, it was great meeting you yesterday at the event that we had on Zoom. I just wanted to follow up with you just to let you know, here's exactly what I do. If you need this at any time, or if you know anyone else, Justin, it would be great that we got together. As a matter of fact, Justin, let's just get together so at least I can tell you what we do. And it might not be for you right now, but if it is, great. But if not, at least you know exactly what I do. And if there's someone else that knows that you may know, then we can follow up. And Justin, I would really like to know a little more about your business so that if I know anyone, I can make sure that I refer them to you. That's the reason why you have a business card. I do not leave business cards around. I do not give business cards unless you give me one, because that's my responsibility, is to get one from you so that I can follow up, because they're never going to follow up with you. So great. So then I had one for credit restoration. I consult with entrepreneurs who are ready to start their business by helping them restore their credit so that they can better prepare when they go for financing. This is just a framework, right, which I will give to Anya for her to share. And really, it's a framework because at a certain point, and when you really know this, you can put anything in there. Like I said, small businesses, but Justin, what is your business?
Yeah, so we're a media company. We produce film, music, video games, and fashion.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Justin, you know what? I work with small business that are particularly in the media section that are between 1 and 15 people, and help them understand the business of being in business so that they can better work on their business, not just in their business, thereby improving their operational efficiency and maximizing their profits.
Nice.
Right? Once you get this down, like you could put, like I work specifically with small nonprofit businesses that are in the accelerator field that have between 1 and 15 employees, and help them understand. Like once you have the framework, you can, I don't care at any networking event that I'm at, I can put and frame their business into mine. So, Drawer, especially in your business that you're working with CEOs, this would be awesome when you be able to network with people and say exactly what they do and put it in there because you're so fluent with this, right? This is practice, practice, practice. Once you know these things, you have it down and then you're talking with them. See, when I'm in a networking bit, I'm talking to get information so I can plug everything in there. Like I don't even say what I do until I know what they do.
Um, I would say the fifth grade part is not necessarily does not necessarily apply to this one.
But here's what happens, right? When you start thinking on that, you start to think the way everyone else thinks, right? So that it's very easy to understand. I know it's not going to come again. I only do this like because I've done it 100,000 times, right? It's fluent. It wasn't fluent when I first started. Like I went out there and stuttered and stumbled and jacked it all up. Like this is a over and over again. Like this is a non, and I've reframed this like 30 times, right? The point is understanding it, putting it out there and reframing it over and over. That's why I said at the beginning, this is not something that we can do in one setting. I usually are talking people through the whole features and benefit process because there's a mindset for that. And then really work this down so that they can really understand and get a good framework for where they're going with their business when they're talking to people. And once you understand this small piece, then you're running a network event so you can talk to people. Because there's no ums, there's no uhs. There's like, I am very strategic. I mean, surgically strategic when I go to a networking event and I'm talking to whoever I'm talking to, I'm listening. And that's a part of the sales process, right? Of being able to listen to what they're saying and then giving it right back to them. Like I work like anyone that's in this class tonight, like, and I'm sorry I can't see everybody. I only see the 6 people that are on this side. And that's the only reason why I can call on Jorah and Justin. But you begin to have it down to a science where like you're waiting for somebody just to tell you what they do. So you can say, absolutely, I work with people, boom, 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 especially if you're in the consulting field. Like it doesn't make a difference. Like some other ones, if you have a certain product or whatever, you can kind of frame it a different way, but this is the framework works for anyone. I don't care if it's for profit, not for profit, whatever, but be strategic with it. All I want to know is there an opportunity, and it's okay if it's not. I just want your card so I can give you more information so that when it is, we can go from there. All right, I know it is 4:45. I apologize for going way over, but I just get so excited about this and just did this brain dump. So and I apologize.
No problem, Gordon. Thank you so much. So we do have a couple of questions in the chat box. The first one being how is business to business marketing different than business to customer marketing, target audience determination that you've described. So this was referring to one of your slides.
So there's no difference between customer and business to business, because in business to business or whatever business, you're still talking to a person, right? So when you think about business to business, who is it in that business that you're talking to? So for me, there's a business that I'm getting ready to do in the energy efficiency field, right? So there's, depending on the business, it might be the owner, it might be the facilities management person, but there's a certain mindset for a facilities management person, right? They're going to want to know numbers and all of this stuff. It's different between talking from the CEO. They just want to know, look, can I maximize my operational efficiency and maximize my profit? Or they may be talking about, when you think about energy efficiency, they may be thinking about, their corporate social responsibility. That's a different conversation than it would be for the facilities manager. So it's still understanding those people and how they think in that business.
Thank you.
Could you ask them, did that answer their question? Because I don't know who that was.
So that was Julianne.
Julianne, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that, you know, what I was also kind of thinking about was, so it might or might not be the specific person in the business, but thinking about how do you know what businesses to go for? Like, what industry are they in? Is there sort of a similar, I'll call it marketing brainstorm for, like, you know, it's not going to be a 40-year-old white man. It's going to be a mid-sized biotech company or something like that.
Right. So if your market is going to be in a biotech companies, right? There's a certain, depending on what you're selling, right? There's a certain way that you're going to sell to them. There's a certain way you're going to talk to them. And it takes some time to get to that point, right? Of just understanding what it is about their company that's going to be the hot point, right? And then framing things around that. So it's a little different than business to customer, but it's the same principles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And Gordon, the other question that we had was, what is the protocol or industry standard for sharing a business card when all of our events are through Zoom now? And someone suggested LinkedIn. Do you have any advice on that?
So I would say this: if you're on a Zoom call and it's just people that you don't know, right? There's always that chat feature, right? That private chat, depending on, like, if it's on a Zoom, not like this, and it's only the featured person, then you really can't do anything. But if it's like this, where you're seeing other people and hopefully other people have shared what they're doing, then I've done that on many occasions where there was 100 people on there, didn't know most of them, but someone jumped up and said something, or they had something in their name that caught my eye, and I sent them a private chat. But you're always asking, you know, how can we connect? Because again, it's up to you to get their information to go to them. They are not, when I give out a business card, I don't ever expect anyone to call me. Unless they're in the market right then, they're never going to call.
And I just want to pitch in a little bit in regards to, like, you know, like, or when organizing events and things like that, we have seen that, you know, sometimes participants just ask in the chat box, could we have maybe, could we make can someone make an introduction or a connection to a particular speaker or another person that maybe is participating in the event? And sometimes we have also had participants send us emails, at least in regards to, like, you know, sender events, and tell us, you know, would you be able to connect me with this person? And sometimes we do share, you know, sort of like LinkedIn information and anything we might be able to have. So I think my suggestion would be, you know, just don't be afraid to ask to connect, you know, especially, you know, I think we're all kind of figuring out our way through networking and connecting through a virtual world. So I think more likely than not, people will want to, like, connect right away as well. But, like, connecting to, like, the main organizers on the event so that you can get access to some introductions, that could be an option for you.
I know we only have a couple more minutes, but I would suggest this, you know, with everyone on here, and this would really be up to, you know, a sender, but, you know, at some point, if, you know, you really want to take this to another level, that, you know, you get a couple people around you, and if you don't have, that could be at a sender, and really walk through features and benefits, right? And help each other think through a process of what that means. Because sometimes we're so far in it that we only know our product and service, right? So we don't think about features and benefit and all these other things. So if you have a group of people around you that are kind of thinking through this with you, it could really open up a lot of ways of presenting and thinking and getting these features and benefits down if you're not good at this. Again, when I do this, I'm usually with When I do an 8-week course, in that 8 weeks, most of it is spent on the marketing piece because it is so important. Like, this is the lifeblood in your business. If you don't get this down, it's going to be very hard to scale your business because you're not going to know really who to talk to. And you may be making money, but if you really look at them, there is a lot more money on the table if we just take the time to look at our features and benefits, to really understand them, really understand our avatar, our customer, who is that exact person. And again, when we're talking about business to business, we're talking more about a position sometimes. And so understanding that position more than just a person, because they're going to have, from that position, they're going to be looking for certain things, right? But it's still a people to people business at the end of the day. I don't care if it's business to business, business to customer. It's still people to people, conveying ideas, asking questions, and really walking into another level. But you have to do the market research and really start putting things down so that you understand where you can make a shift, or where you can niche at, or where there's more money on the table at.
Gordon,
from market research. Yes, ma'am.
I would say also to add to that is just ask other entrepreneurs who have a not similar type of product, but if they are also B2B, and just ask them. Like, I've connected people who shared how they negotiated manufacturing contracts, or even understood like what are some options in your manufacturing negotiation. So that's a component. But something to the earlier question of what's this today's business or business card or whatever, what I've noticed too, and Gordon, let me know if you notice this as well, is that people are just providing content and expertise a certain level for free. And it's to say, like, people don't want to be sold like, here, buy my stuff, buy my car. Sometimes they want to be like, oh, I feel cool when I'm in this car. I get a lot of attention when I'm in this car. Do you want attention too? Or do you want to be able to get from point A to point B? And people go, yeah. You know what, Gordon, can you tell me a little bit more about that car? I'm interested in buying it. So there are a lot of creative ways to get out there and replace today's business card that at least I'm seeing.
Absolutely. But what I would say to add on to that, it still starts with the basic. Like, if you don't know your customer, if you don't know your target market, if you don't know your features and benefits, it's going to be very challenging for you to convey those things in a way that's going to get people to move in the direction you want them to move.
One of my favorite websites is Unicorn Ads that I tell everyone, unicornads.com. And you can look at high grossing ads that are online by industry, or by product. So if you're selling pottery, see what someone else selling pottery, how they're talking about their product. To Gordon's point, is it pointing to young folks, to people who are interested in social impact, what it is? And maybe you want to do the exact opposite because they're not targeting a certain audience, or this is a point of a jumping off point as well. So it's called unicornads.com.
Yeah. And if you're not in the same market, maybe you want to do the same thing. I mean, if it works, it works. You know what I mean? And so until you find your niche. I mean, I see people do that all the time. So, that's what it's all about. But there is just so much out there. But I would just say you just got to open yourself up to the possibilities. Like I said, when I started my first business, I had no idea about that. I thought when I opened my doors, they were supposed to come to me, not me go to them. And I was supposed to be a millionaire in 6 months. It didn't happen, but I'm still working on it.
That's great. We still have 5 more minutes. Anybody have any more pressing questions that you want to ask to Gordon?
I have a question. Hi, I'm Megan Warbs. My question is really related to pivoting and how you adjust your pitch and your value proposition when you're at a point that you had a very specific defined niche, and now due to external factors or what have you, you're having to pivot away from that, and how you kind of adjust accordingly, or when you kind of make the choice to move away from your initial value proposition.
So that's a good question. I would say that it depends on how branded you are. right? If you're not very branded, then it doesn't make a difference. Like like a lot of businesses change 4 or 5 times before they really become who they need to become, right? And so that's just part of the process. Now, if you're very niched in that, then you just got to make a decision on how that's going to be, whether you're going to continue with the other brand and build out the next one, if you're going to completely leave that other kind of brand and build another one. It just really depends on the situation. But people don't mind you changing as long as you tell them you're changing, right? People get mad when you change and you haven't said nothing to nobody. So if you have a very loyal following, they'll follow you wherever you go. But just let them know that, hey, here's what happened, here was the issue, and here's where we're going now.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions? All right. Well, okay, I guess you have marching orders, I guess. Well, I just wanted to take a 1 minute to say thank you so much, Gordon, for the presentation and for taking all of the questions. We will be sharing Gordon's information so that you can connect with him directly. But as he said earlier in the presentation, you can also find him at the PIT SBDC as well. And before we go, we have put together a lot of resources in regards to value proposition in our website, and I want to make sure that that you take some time to really browse to them, because we have been curating resources that will help you think through this value proposition. So some of the things that Gordon mentioned today about understanding your market research, how to come up with customer personas, and how do you go about interviewing the people that you think may be your potential customers. We have created exercises that can walk you through that process and to make it easier for you to really take the next step tomorrow. So I really encourage you to take some time and to browse through that page. If you have any questions, just connect with us. We will be sending a survey, and we would love to hear your feedback around our program and how it went. And if you need connections, or if you'd like to learn more about some of the resources that we have here at Ascender, and also connect with Gordon, just let us know. And yes, so keep up to date with our newsletter, and hopefully we'll see you next time at our upcoming event. So thank you everybody for joining us today.